What is going on tonight? We are doing our final I Hate Division preview show. We're doing the NFC and the AFC West. As always, we got two guests coming on tonight to join us to draft for both divisions. We'll do some NFL future bets as usual. And of course, we'll kick things off with our nonsense draft. Hang tight.
Going for two, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for two, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top end. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo!
What is going on, and welcome to episode 425 of the Armchair Fantasy Show. I am your host, of course, Geoff Lambert. You can follow me on Twitter at GeoffLambert77. I'm here. I know we missed last week. Ryan was on vacation, and I unfortunately had some internet problems one night, and then we were going to do it on Thursday, and then I had some teeth problems. I had the worst toothache ever and gave me a huge headache, and I just couldn't do the show. So we are back this week. Ryan, how was vacation, man?
That's great. It's good to be back. I feel like you faked those and you just missed because I wasn't there. It just felt wrong. But I digress. Hopefully your teeth feel a little better.
I was going to blame the Wi-Fi issues on you, but then I had to cancel the next day too. So I was like, okay, I can't blame on Ryan.
Have you tried a string around the tooth and just shut a door yet?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting to that point. I'm getting pretty close to just ripping it out with some pliers or something. Because yeah,
I've seen it in many movies. It can't be that bad.
Can't be that bad. Movies never lie. All right. Also joining us tonight, we got two great guests coming on tonight. We have Swails. You can follow him on Twitter at Betting for All. He is from FantasyPoints. What's up, man?
Hey guys, I'm happy to be here. I actually did update my Twitter to follow through with my last name, so it's just Swails_24. No big deal. Okay. But don't post on there too often, but I am happy to be here. It's been a while since I've been on a podcast with y'all, so excited to talk about the West and my Denver Broncos. So let's go.
Yeah, I actually have Swails_24 on the show sheet, but then you had Betting for All on your screen there, so that's what I actually read it off of.
Oh, that's probably my bad for not updating.
It's all good. I was like, I thought it was Swails_24, but then I saw you wrote on there. I was like, okay, I'll leave that. I'll leave that there.
If you click the three dots, you can still change it.
Yeah, if you click the three dots on the side, you can still change it to get it correct there. All right. Also joining us tonight from FantasyPros, we have Drew. What's up, man?
How's it going? Yep, doing well. Yep, over QB list and doing stuff for FantasyPros, mostly rankings for them. Yeah, it's excited to be here. Thanks for having me. And you can find me on Blue Sky. I'm a Drew Delaware there. And I'm also clouding around on Reddit as well. So you can find me in the fantasy football subreddit there.
You're a brave man.
Yeah. Yep.
Good stuff. Yeah, and this is your first time on the show, right, Drew?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think you've been in the Discord for a while, but just haven't gotten you on the show. So good to get you on, man.
Appreciate it.
And I was going to say at the top there that one of my favorite parts of starting the show is I could see all of the guests and Ryan, and y'all don't know that I can still see y'all, and to see like Ryan doing like the air drums to the music was quite hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't think people could see me here.
Yeah, I think when I minimize y'all can't see each other, but I still have this little screen on the side where I can still see everybody.
I feel weird about those times I stood up pantsless. Just straight helicoptering and just getting a show for free.
Yes, those are always awkward coming back from those little breaks. All right, are you tired of losing? I'm sorry, are you tired of long, drawn-out drafts that feel like they never end? Then it's time to level up at Fast Draft, the fastest way you can draft and win real cash. These drafts take less than 5 minutes, and you can knock one out on your lunch break or while waiting in line for coffee. Right now, we got an exclusive offer for our listeners. Use promo code GF2, and you can get 100% deposit match up to $50. That's double the cash, double the action. Jump right in. Lightning fast drafts. Dominate your opponent and get paid all in under 5 minutes. Go to fastdraft.com to sign up. Use promo code GF2 and start drafting today. We are getting closer to that season, so if you haven't started doing your drafts yet, they just put out some new contests, so make sure you get in there and do some fast draft and use that promo code GF2. All right, we'll kick things off like we always do with our nonsense draft.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, tonight's theme could get a little weird here, but I came up with this one. I saw a TikTok that did something similar to this one, and I stole their idea. But we are drafting tonight the worst possible character themes for a kid's birthday. I know Ryan doesn't have kids. I don't know if Drew and Swails, if y'all have kids or not, but I'm sure if you got 4 kids, okay, so you know all about it. You get if you have a girl, you got the My Little Pony themes, and you have the whatever SpongeBob SquarePants themes. So we're drafting the worst possible ones that we can think of tonight. And Drew, you get the 101 here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go Pennywise. That's a pretty terrible choice for a kid's birthday party. I feel like that's got to be the 101, I think.
That is definitely the 101, because you get, not only did you get the horror element of that, but you get the clown element too, right? I mean, just clowns in general can be scary, but then you get Pennywise, with the balloons and
it's 2 first-round picks in one, really. So
yeah, exactly.
Just a regular clown, nah.
All right, Swells, you got the 102 here.
Yeah, similar scary theme. Mine would be Grim Reaper or death, but terrible to face death in the face when you're at a kid's birthday party. It's probably
for sure. Yeah, all black tablecloths, all black cups, plates, everything's all black.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly. Love it. All right, Ryan, you got the 103.
So I'm going a different way. I'm going a little niche. If you watch South Park, they have the Christmas critters, who are cute little creatures who worship the devil and are pure evil. That's mine.
he broke it down. It wasn't just South Park theme. He had to go real specific.
I appreciate the breakdown because it made me remember what he's talking about.
If you haven't seen the episode, search Christmas critters. You will not regret it. If you're a fan, it's fine.
Good stuff.
Let your kids watch it. It's great.
All right, I went a similar route to Ryan, and I picked an adultish cartoon, and I'm taking Family Guy, but specifically I'm taking the old man that lives next door. I can't think of his name, but he's a little suspect on the pet
Herbert
side. What's his name?
Herbert, I think.
Herbert the pervert.
Yeah.
Herbert the pervert.
Herbert the pervert. Yeah, there you go. That is my theme there. So I went with Family Guy, but more specifically Herbert the pervert.
That's got to be a new fantasy team name.
Yeah, for sure. Justin Herbert the pervert.
Nice. I don't think you can endorse that one.
See you with the
show, so he'll chat. Yeah. We'll chat with him.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, you're back up.
All right. I'm gonna go a little off script here, but I'm gonna keep it with the football thing. I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns elf mascot thing. That kind of scares me.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? I was about to just say the Browns. That's better.
It's a Browns theme.
Yeah, and Browns in general, I think. Yeah, right.
Jamie's not in the chat tonight for some reason. Of all nights, we're talking about his Browns, and he's not here.
Yeah,
love it. All right, Swells, what's your 202?
This one would be an old classic for most of people my age, but Breaking Bad theme.
Yes, that was on my list.
CPS is definitely getting called.
Yes, for sure. I like that. Good stuff. All right, Ryan, you got your 203 here.
I was about to go very, very similar to that with an old classic TV show. I was going to go with The Wire.
Nice.
Just teach kids about survival.
I love it. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here, and I still have quite a bit on my list here. I thought for sure y'all would have taken some of these, so let me think about which one I want to do here. You know what? I'm going to go with Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter team. We just have him wearing like the skin mask or whatever on the cups and the plates, and just go all out with the Hannibal Lecter thing. That's how I think I'll wrap it up here. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our AFC West mock draft. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the screen here. Hopefully you're able to see that there. And I'm going to go ahead and get us started on the AFC mock. If you haven't watched these before, the way these work, it is a 4-team, 6-round mock draft, essentially what equals a 12-team, 2 rounds, essentially, to the top 24 players. And we can only draft players from this division, from the AFC West. It is a SuperFlex, and it is tight end premium, 2-point tight end premium. And we are doing it from a dynasty perspective. And Swails, you have the 101 here.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty simple with this format and the limited roster options. I think Brock Bowers is a pretty gimme, especially with this kind of offense. I know there's some concerns going around whether or not Pete Carroll's ever had 100 reception receiver and things of that nature, but I think Brock Bowers has broken barriers and proven to us not to doubt him, because anybody that did last year is highly regretting that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, anybody that was saying, tight ends take a while to break in and give him time, and yeah, he was the thing from day one. All right, Drew, you are on the clock, sir.
All right, I'm going to stick with the Raiders theme. I'm going to take Ashton Jeanty. I just kind of like. I think he's going to be. Obviously, I think he's a worthwhile first-round pick in any format, and I think he's a slam dunk for this pick here. Really, nobody else I think that stands out to me. I think he's the clear best running back in this particular draft in the AFC West.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably where I would have gone. I know it is super flex, but this is one of the few divisions that we've done that actually has 4 good quarterbacks that you feel comfortable taking any of the 4. But I am going to take a quarterback here, and I'm a little bit torn, honestly, because I know, Mahomes is there, and you think that'd be an automatic pick. But I do like Bo Nix's upside, and he's got some, rushing ability as well. But I just can't bring myself to pick Bo Nix over Mahomes, so I will take Patrick Mahomes here at the 203. And Ryan, you got the back-to-back.
I was fully expecting the 3 quarterbacks to be gone. My whole game plan went out the. I don't think I've drafted a quarterback yet.
Yeah, I don't think you have in any of these.
In any league. But you know what? I'm double tapping it, baby. I'm taking Bo Nix and Justin Herbert back to back here. I think the dip at some of the other skill positions isn't great. There's only one other guy I'd probably consider here, but with it being super flex, that kind of goes out the window for me.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I mean, it's 2 top 10 quarterbacks here.
Yeah, you can't beat that for sure. And you're going to screw one of them because they're not going to get a quarterback now.
Yeah,
it's okay. I've been there every week.
Yeah. Ryan's not drafted a quarterback in any of these mocks yet. He's just anti-quarterback. All right, I am up on the clock now, and I'm going to talk you through some of the players that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Amarion Hampton, of course, the rookie for the Chargers. I'm looking at Ladd McConkey. Considering stacking with like a Rashee Rice, because I have my Patrick Mahomes already. But I think this is Dynasty, and I do want to get a young wide receiver, and I don't like Rice as much as I like Ladd McConkey. So I am going to take Ladd McConkey here with my pick.
That was my only non-quarterback consideration.
Yeah, I think McConkey's got a nice bright future ahead of him. So I'll skip over the stack and go with Ladd McConkey.
I probably had a good 5-minute monologue prepared for a Ladd McConkey pick here, but I do just want to point out the whole fact, and obviously with me representing Fantasy Points, anytime you're going to hear from me, I'm going to be representing a bunch of Fantasy Points nuggets. But we obviously just got the Keenan Allen news that he's back with the Chargers, and that's presumably going to open up opportunities for him in the slot. So that you may be concerned about whether or not Ladd can play on the outside, and this is just a friendly reminder that he absolutely can and can dominate from out wide. From FantasyPoints data suite, we have Lad ranked top 10 in overall separation score from outside with over 119 routes ran from there at 0.176. That's in similar category as to AJ Brown, Nico Collins, Chris Olave.
Nice
names like that. So
nice, good nugget. I love it. Good stuff. You were up here at the 203, so sorry I sniped you there. But what are you going with here?
Oh, this
Well,
would be
yeah,
true.
this would be me.
This
I
is
was
true.
actually looking to
Right.
take McConkey next. I agree with all that analysis 100%. But at this point, because of the nature of this particular draft and what I'm looking at quarterback, if I don't take him, this is the only draft I think I'd ever take Geno Smith this early.
Yeah.
It feels disgusting, but I shudder to think what will be left, and I'm very sorry, Swails, for what I'm doing here, but I'm going to take Geno.
Wait till how you're about to feel in the NFC West.
No, not a worry at all here, especially at this point. I am a person that will actively fade the quarterback position and pivot for alternatives. And at this point, you guys are leaving me with potential back-to-back first-round picks in potentially most dynasties, but even redraft next year. You could see Brock Bowers and now Marion Hampton. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We don't even know if Najee can see at this point. And Hampton is up and coming in that Greg Roman offense. I know, you mentioned Herbert being a top 10 quarterback. I would have a little bit of pushback on that from a fantasy perspective, just because if Harbaugh and Roman have it their way, they're going to, lean heavily on the run and have a lower pass rate over expectation, in my opinion.
As a Ravens fan, I never have kind words for Greg Roman. So, yeah.
And with that rant, I almost forgot that I had back-to-back picks here. So for me, from a dynasty perspective specifically, I know we don't know what's going to be happening with Rashee Rice, but whether or not, from a dynasty perspective, you should not be selling. You should be looking to buy and just be willing to ride the wave of the suspension. It's nice that it's going to be happening now and ahead of time, probably looking at 6 to 8 games. And once you get through that, you're going to be sitting with a potential top 12 wide receiver overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great pick there. And I was almost hoping he'd make it back to me in this next round, but he did not. So great choice. Drew, you're up here. So far, your team is Ashton, Jeanty, and Geno Smith. Where are you going here?
Well, that second pick still doesn't taste very good. So I'm gonna go off the Raiders here, and I'm gonna go with Rice's teammate. I had those guys back to back really in my rankings here for the AFC West. So I'm gonna go with Xavier Worthy's as teammate out wide.
Yeah, you both screwed me. I was hoping to get one of those guys.
Yeah, I really like Worthy a lot. I think he's really kind of grown up my boards, especially this year for 2025 with Rice looking to miss potentially half the season. Worthy definitely balled out and exceeded my expectations. I think most people's expectations last year. He's the real deal. And I think last I heard, Patrick Mahomes is pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that pick there.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so far my team is Patrick Mahomes and Lad McConkey. Looking at the board here, I'm looking at the rookie RJ Harvey. There's a couple receivers on the board that I still kind of like. As far as tight end go, I could stack with Travis Kelce, but I mean, this is dynasty. I don't know how many more years he's going to play and how effective he's going to be. So I don't know if I want to pull that trigger yet. So I'm going to go with the guy that just recently got paid. He is a wide receiver. He's a little bit older, but he just got his contract. He's going to be there for a while. He's going to be linked to Bo Nix, which is had a pretty good rookie season and should have a good career. So I'll take Courtland Sutton here, and if I can find him.
He's still a top 24 wide receiver out wide. As far as the separation score, very clearly the most dominant target hog in that offense. Even with Evan Ingram coming in, he's going to dominate the outside targets. And he's a jump ball contested catch merchant. I mean, if you ever want to see some cool highlights, go look up Sutton. Incredibly underrated.
Agreed. I think we did a show. It was before I think we did the division previews, and I think Ryan was talking about his current ADP and how how ugly it is compared to where he's being.
He's one of the best values per ADP out there right now.
Yep.
It's
He was going.
unbelievable.
Remember, he was going in the 90s last year. If anybody remembers,
He-
it was steal.
It's not great now. He's been playing a lot of basketball, and he's been an extreme value.
Absolutely. All right, Ryan, you got the back-to-back here.
I'm gonna take RJ Harvey here. I like the young back. I think it's a good upside pick, even though he's listed as 4th on the depth chart right now. But
don't believe it.
I do not believe that.
Bo Nix was 3rd last year, same time.
Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. And Greg Roman was. Like, and if he gets a starting job or even a significant role, there's a ton of carries in his future, and I don't think he'll up. And then I feel like that cliff for the divisions just hit.
Yep.
I don't love it. Part of me is looking at tight ends, but they're all pretty old. Isaiah Pacheco's there. He's off and on the starting running back for Kansas City, more off recently than on. But I'm taking Mims. He had a little bit of a connection with Bo Nix. I know he's not going to be a week-to-week start in most cases, and you're kind of playing him as that big game when you're desperate kind of start. But I'll take that there. Just hopefully that connection grows with him, because the upside there is just his role as a boomer bust player.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think that cliff definitely was there, and I think Mims has that upside in what should be a pretty good offense. So I like that call.
Well, and
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say Marvin Mims absolutely climbed. I wrote an article piece pre-draft buy, and Marvin Mims was one of my top pre-draft rookie buys. Pre-draft rookie in Dynasty, excuse me. But yeah, his route share climbed to over 40%. And then in the wild card game against the Buffalo Bills, it was over 65% route share.
Wow.
So he was kind of finally getting out of the doghouse. Why he was in the doghouse, I've never been able to figure out, but he's climbing out.
Good stuff. All right, I am on the clock next. And as Ryan mentioned, there was pretty much of a steep cliff there. There is some decent old tight ends left. Of course, Evan Ingram is there. Travis Kelce is there. There's a couple rookies with some upside like Trey Harris and then Dante Thornton. But you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and I talked about the old tight ends, but there is one guy that I still really like even at his age, and that's Evan Ingram. New situation, going to Denver. He's been a beast when he's been healthy. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. So hopefully he can go to Denver, stay healthy for a full 17 games, and make that connection with Bo Nix and put up some monster stats for a couple more years for me on my dynasty team. Drew, you're up.
All right. Well, you just picked my pocket, both of you guys, because I had Mims and Ingram for my next 2 picks as well. So I took both of those guys. I'm in a women's fantasy football league with Bob Harris, and those were recent picks of mine in that draft. So and I'm high on both of those guys. And I agree, even at age. And tight end's a position where age doesn't quite matter as much as it does with the other ones. And I think Ingram is in that potential role, could just absolutely blow up this year and next. And that's what you're looking for in Dynasty, is at least 2 to 3 good years of production. I think you can definitely get that out of Ingram. So absolutely love that pick. I don't really love what's left here. And I mean, Mims would have been my guy. Like I said, I'll probably go with Dante Thornton. I really like his metrics as far as has been able to make people miss the separation. He's just I really like him a lot. I think he's going to be a great player, and it's a stack there with Geno. We'll shoot for the moon here. We'll see. We'll take Dante Thornton.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, the other rookie was taken higher than him in the draft, Jack Beck. But I think Thornton is the one, if you read all the camp notes, that's been sort of standing out. So yeah,
exactly.
I like that you put him there. Good stuff.
Yep. Maybe put him in here.
And Swails, you got the next 2 picks here.
Yeah. So for me, I've already taken a tight end who should be around for the next decade, ideally, hopefully. So I have and I can't get a quarterback. So I have no issue here taking Travis Kelce. Also, that's nice insurance with the Rashee Rice potential, suspension. So then Travis Kelce will hopefully get those additional targets. And obviously he's lost some weight and stuff. Incredible motivation after getting blown out in the Super Bowl. So let's hopefully he can ride out on a high note. And then at this point, I have way too many Chiefs, especially as a Broncos fan. So normally I would think about going Pacheco here as the best next running back available, in my opinion. But I'm probably just going to pivot to the guy who could get paid before the offseason is over, Jacoby Myers. And he is part of the problem with Mr. Jack Besh getting on the field, or at least that's some of the early reports, struggling to find exactly where Besh can kind of fit on the field because he plays a similar role to that of Myers and Bowers. So
yeah, Myers is one of the most boring receivers in the NFL that just produces.
Yeah, consistent.
Yeah.
You look up like, oh, you look at his stats, but every year people just ignore him for some reason. So good call there.
Yeah,
all right.
I was waiting for Myers to come back, but that makes it easy for me. I'll just take Pacheco. So, like you said, he's the last running back of consequence, I think, with a meaningful role. Just kind of hope that he kind of rounds back into form because when he came back, he wasn't quite as impressive. So hopefully a nice off season, some rest, he'll be able to find his mojo back, and we'll ride Isaiah.
The competition seems to be lacking there in the KC backfield based on current reports. So
yeah, I think Kareem Hunt is done. He's just not quite the same player anymore. So.
Yeah. All right, I am up on the clock here, and really at this point, you're just kind of throwing darts. So I'm going to throw a dart. I'm going to throw a dart at a rookie that was drafted pretty highly. Unfortunately, I also own his teammate, so this was a real dynasty. I would have a hard time starting both of them, but I will take Trey Harris here of the Chargers. Of course, I already have Ladd McConkey, but Trey Harris was drafted pretty highly. He's going pretty high in dynasty rookie drafts, so hopefully he can pan out and put some points up for my dynasty team. Ryan, you ain't got much to choose from here, buddy.
Yeah, you're telling me. I'm going to take Jalen Royals here. I think he's an interesting player who's athletic enough who they may find ways to get the ball in his hands. Plus, you've seen suspensions with receiver, possible suspensions, possible injuries. Like, there's a lot for him to go with. So I'm going to take Royals there. And in between thinking about this and throwing up for the next pick, and just... I know we said it. I don't believe it. But I'm going to pick J.K. Dobbins. I don't think Najee Harris is coming back. They might be slower than... he has the connection with Roman and Harbaugh's. So I'm going to take him here and hate it so much.
Dobbins actually in Denver now.
Oh, Denver. My bad. My brain just stopped tonight. Yep. But either way, yeah, I heard he was their starter right now.
Yeah, he was listed as a starter for the first preseason game. So, yeah.
I was like, I completely went to the wrong rookie running back backfield.
Well, it would make sense that early in the season, JK is kind of, works as that grinder role, and Harvey will ideally, in a perfect world, kind of slide in that Kamara role.
They need that split. I mean, it's the NFL now.
Absolutely. And I think Sean Payton has always been kind of the coach to have those splits anyway.
Always.
All right, so I am up on the board, and I just must be in love with the Chargers because I'm about to take another shot on a rookie that's been getting a lot of camp noise. Probably going to have to wait a year or two for him to really sort of break out, but I already have Ingram on my team, so I'm going to take Rondé Gatson, who's been getting a ton of camp pub, and hopefully he can sort of pan out into a guy similar to like Antonio Gates, who kind of came out of nowhere as well. All right, Drew, your last pick here. I'm going to recap your team. You got Jeanty, Geno Smith, Xavier Worthy, Dante Thornton, and Isaiah Pacheco. Who is your last pick here?
All right, well, so I'm kind of tempted to take Brashard Smith. I have a lot of Brashard Smith. I really liked him. I know he's a 7th-round pick. The hit rate on seventh-round running backs is pretty low. But he's gotten a lot of run with that first team. So I was kind of leaning his way, but we're talking about Kelsey, and we don't know how many more years he has left. But I'll tell you who has played well when given opportunities in that offense, and that's Noah Gray. So I'm going to give him a shot, and we'll see if I think at this point, this late in the draft, in a tight end premium league, I think he's worth he's worth a shot. So I'll go with Noah Gray.
Yeah, I like it. He definitely has played well when Kelsey has been either out of the game or or injured or something. But yeah, for sure, it's a good pick there. All right, Swails, close us out here.
All right, man. Well, I don't have any quarterbacks, so I need people who can score and can score right now. So Keenan Allen join the retirement home here of a squad that I have. Probably sliding into that SuperFlex spot, and hopefully can hit the fountain of youth there with Herbert and get his traditional 10 to 12 fantasy points per game.
Yeah, good stuff. Let me recap your team. You went Bowers at the 101, Amarian Hampton, Rashee Rice. You took Travis Kelce, and you wrapped it up with Jacoby Myers and Keenan Allen. Ryan's team went double quarterback to make up for taking no quarterbacks up until this point. Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, RJ Harvey. Then he went Marvin Mims and Royals, and then wrapped it up with Dobbins. And then my team is Patrick Mahomes, Ladd McConkey, Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram, Trey Harris, and Aronde Gatson. So other than my quarterback, I'm pretty much invested in the Broncos and the Chargers. That's where my whole team is basically. All right, that wraps up the AFC West mock. Now we're going to do some NFL future bets. And the way we do this, I've got 4 that I picked, and we're each going to take one of them. And the first one I got on the list here. Oh, let me hit the drop first.
Prop bet of the week.
All right, the first one we got here is for you, Drew. Marvin Harrison Jr. over under 975.5 receiving yards. Where are you going with Marvin Harrison Jr. here?
I like a year 2 leap, so I'll take the over on that. So I believe that Kyle Murray can, if he stays healthy, can certainly deliver enough to give him not only above that but over 1,000 yards. So I'll definitely take the over on MHJ.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit disrespectful that they wouldn't even give him over 1,000. I mean, I think if he's healthy all 17 and Kyler Murray's healthy, I think there's no way he doesn't get over 1,000 yards. But
right,
yeah, I would take the over there as well. All right, Ryan, you get the rookie. Ashton Jeanty over under 1,050.5 rushing yards. What are you going with Jeanty here?
Take the over. I don't love betting it on a rookie, but the fact that they tried to run the ball last year, having just shy of 400 carries with the just pathetic backfield they had with Madison, Abdullah, and Zamir White, they're going to run the ball, Jeanty. They took him high in the draft. He's going to be a part of that offense. If it was total yards, I'd feel more comfortable, but I'm still going to take the over on it because he could get 350 carries this year in that offense because there's not that many weapons, as we just saw.
Agreed. I think he can be inefficient and still get over 1,000 yards in that offense.
That Najee Harris special.
Yeah, exactly. Just get a billion touches and you'll be good. All right, Swails, you get the new quarterback in Seattle over under 3,450.5 passing yards for Sam Darnold.
Yes, this is a gross one here, but I am going to give a little bit of respect to hopefully potential growth we saw. I still strongly believe that Sam Darnold was a system of the Vikings offensive system last year. But that being said, he does get Kubiak this year. So he still gets a strong offensive play caller who is going to emphasize a strong run game and help him feed off of the play action. So I think he's going to go over, not by much. But I think he's going to be right around 3,500. So I think he'll go over by like 50, 75 yards at best.
Yeah, so just barely over. One of those bets that you're probably not taking if it's that close, right? It's like
not if I
peeking over.
Not if I don't have to.
Yep, that's a tough one. All right, and I'll take the last one here. Puka Nacua over under 5.5 receiving touchdowns. And I think we've been doing this now for the last couple of weeks, and I think pretty much everyone that's been on the show has gone over on their bet. I'm going to be the first one to take the under here. I think Puka Nacua, if you look at his first 2 years in the league, he's averaging about a shade under 10 targets per game. His first year, he had 160 total targets. He only had 6 touchdowns on those targets. And then in year 2, he still averaged about 10 targets per game. Of course, he missed some games, only had 106 targets, but only had 3 touchdowns. And now he's got the touchdown machine, Devontae Adams, lining up next to him. I think there's a world where Puka gets a lot of the receptions and the targets and the yards, and then Devontae Adams, of course, gets all the touchdowns. So I'm going to take the under on 5.5 touchdowns for Puka Nacua this year.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, especially given the situation with Matt Stafford. It came out today, the news, he's getting epidurals already. We just turned the calendar to August and we're already getting epidurals. It's not a good sign. So yeah, I like that call as well.
Yeah, because if
especially on a 37-year-old QB.
Yep. And if they had to go to their backup, do you know who their backup is? Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, it's
could be worse, but still doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
Does not. It does not for sure. All right, let's get to our NFC mock draft.
Attention, everyone. Let's mock draft.
All right, let me pull up the screen here. All right. Foss.
You guys confused me. I've never had the first pick before.
Yeah, you got the first pick this time, Ryan. I like it.
I was very shocked when I went in the chat. I know who I want to pick. I know who I should pick. And the player I'm going to take is not who I should pick, but I'm using it because I want to plant my flag on this player again for the season. And I'm taking Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he is in line for a ton of targets. I know Cooper Kupp's there, but that's it. That's the only thing he's competing against. Sam Darnold showed that he can handle, I know it's not the same offense as offensive coordinator, but he showed he likes a certain type of receiver who creates separation and can make some plays after with the ball in his hands after the catch, which JSN was excellent at last year. His 137 targets, I don't think, is the minimum. This is just getting started in the league. He's still younger than a lot of rookie wide receivers this year. So in Dynasty, I'm taking him over a couple of the older options who probably should be taken. But I don't really care at this point. I think he's going to be fantastic.
I love it because I'm all in on JSN. I think I have JSN in my top 10 receivers this year. I think he's going to be a beast. So, yeah, I'm in on JSN as well. All right, Swails, what you got for the 102?
All right, I guess my trend is going to continue at taking the tight end in the first round here. Obviously, in these two conferences, we probably have the number 1 and number 2 tight ends in the entire NFL, especially from a fantasy perspective. It still just blows my mind. Obviously, this is some of the issues with Marvin Harrison. It's just the connection that Kyler Murray and Trey McBride have. Trey McBride finished 2024, top 10 in all of receivers and first read target share at 33.6, which is just insane. I really think some of it's just that it's the type of quarterback that Kyler Murray is and how he has to feast on the middle of the field rather than the outside of the field, which is the struggle with Marvin Harrison. And so when you've getting a first read target share of 33.6 as a tight end, which is equal to Justin Jefferson and Rashee Rice, yeah, I'll take you.
Yeah.
Imagine if he scored touchdowns last year.
Well, and that's the other thing.
Right.
You have to expect some positive regression in that.
Yeah,
play.
2 targets.
Crazy.
It'd be damn near impossible to match that again.
Yeah, and they all came at the end of the season too. I can't remember when he got his first one, but it was towards the end of the season where he got his first one. It was a big deal.
Because I think he got a rushing one before he got a receiving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. I'm actually higher. I actually think there's a higher chance that McBride matches or exceeds what he did in 2024 than Brock Bowers. So I actually have McBride by a hair as my tight end 1 over Bowers because I believe in that volume, I believe in that path, and I believe in that positive regression. Whereas I think the Raiders are going to switch to more of a run-heavy offense. I don't know that I think the pie is going to be smaller from the passing game perspective. Jacoby's going to get a little bit of it. We're excited with the rookies with Thornton and such, but I believe there's a clearer path, I think, to McBride continuing to maintain that high level of volume. And I do think Bowers falls off a little bit.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I did that in Scott Fishbowl, McBride over Bowers. I'd have to triple check the board, but I believe I did.
Nice.
They went 5, 6, and 9. Scott Fishbowl first round with McBride above Bowers.
Nice. All right, I'm up on the clock at the 103, and similar to what Ryan said on his first pick, I know who I should take here, but the fact that I know I'm going to be on the backside of the turn at the 202, I'm going to pass on quarterback here, and I'm going to take the guy that we just talked about a little while ago, Marvin Harrison Jr. Obviously came into his rookie season super hyped up, and he didn't meet expectations, but if you just took it as a rookie receiver and looked at his numbers, he actually had a pretty decent rookie receiver. He just had so high expectations I think he bounces back this year. I think him and Kyler are already showing some chemistry in camp, and I think he has a good year 2 leap here in Arizona. Ryan, you got the back-to-back here.
Nope,
No, I think
he
it's
does.
me. I got him.
Oh, sorry.
See,
Yep. Yeah.
see
All
me picking first messed the whole show up.
Yeah. I'm so used to you being after me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was waiting for Marvin Harrison to fall down here because I thought you were going to take Puka, which I'll take him here. I know we just talked down about the touchdown total, but this is dynasty, and I do believe in Puka. I think he's going to be a good player, and I think at some point the Rams down the line will replace Stafford with someone who's not held together with duct tape. I do believe, like I said, in the talent, so I'm going to go with Puka there to round out the first. And since it is 2 quarterback, I'll take the first quarterback off the board here. And it may not be the guy that some of you are thinking of, but I'm going to go with Kyler Murray just because I do like that rushing floor. I do think he's going to be productive for another 2 or 3 years. And I know that messes up your stack. I apologize, but I'll take Kyler here.
Yeah, Kyler was the one I was thinking about. I would have taken Kyler at the 103 or Puka. They were both on my board there, but I wanted, like Ryan, I wanted to plant my flag on Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he really has a huge step forward in year 2. All right, I'm back on the clock here, and as I mentioned, I passed on quarterback because I knew I would get one on the backside here no matter what happened. So I will take the one that I feel has the brightest future. Obviously, Stafford is a little bit older, so I'm not going to take Stafford. And Sam Darnold, we're not really sure if the Sam Darnold that played last year is the one that's going to be continuing. And, of course, it's also going to be a homer pick for me. I'm sure Ryan will mention that, but I'm going to take Brock Purdy here.
Dang it. Yeah, I think Brock Purdy, obviously, he just got the bag. Super underrated. He's had some of the highest touchdown rate percentage, in now three years in a row, and it did dip a little bit, but yeah, that's a beautiful pick there. And now because you did that, I'm not really eager to take either one of these quarterbacks. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and plant the flag on one of the fantasy points favorites over here, and that's KW3, Ken Walker the third. Obviously he's always been an incredibly high efficiency running back. The issue's always been, the injury bug, of course, but now he's also got Clint Kubiak, who ran, I believe, top 5 zone runner in the NFL last year underneath the Saints. And a little fun fact about Kenneth Walker, he last year led the league in missed tackles forced per attempt behind, that very horrible Seattle line. So if they can just get a little bit better at blocking, it's going to open up. He's right there with Barkley and Bijan with some of the most incredible, moves that you're going to see in the open field by any running back. So.
Good stuff. I love it. All right, Ryan, now you got the back-to-back.
Okay, now I got the back-to-back. I'm going to take the man who just got paid right now, and Kyron Williams. Even with Stafford hurt, that efficiency might go down, but that volume's going to go up. They paid him for a reason, and they're going to ride him hard, especially while he's getting healthy. And then, I guess we're going win now mode and taking Christian McCaffrey and just living in fear for the rest of the season off it. It could be great. It could be shit. But the upside's there, and I can't not take somebody that good.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he made it back to me in the 3rd round, I would be super ecstatic because, yes, maybe he only has 1 or 2 years left, but if he can, somehow recapture that magic, it's going to be 1 or 2 really, really good years. So I like that pick a lot. All right, I am up on the clock, and I'm looking at...
not quite.
Nope, Jeff, holy cow.
I got to get ahead of you.
I'm all over the place.
Now, I know with this format, we should be going after the quarterbacks, but I just can't help but talk about the skill players. And in this case, it's Davante Adams on a new team. Obviously he's not going to be getting the Aaron Rodgers treatment, but he still is an absolute dominant force, was still top 5, right next to Puka in first read target share. And now, obviously, assuming that Stafford is good to go for the season, you have a quarterback who hyper focuses on his top 2, receivers. And then just in case there is any Puka issues, you have Davante Adams, who has been a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL for a long time. So.
Yeah, love it. I actually missed Devontae Adams on there. I almost overlooked him. I was going to draft somebody else, who I'm going to draft now, but I probably would have taken Adams over this guy and totally missed him on the sheet there. All right, so I am back on the clock, and I'm going to stick with my homerism and, lean into the 2-point tight end premium and stack him with Brock Purdy, and I'm going to take George Kittle. I believe the stat that I saw is that George Kittle averaged the most yards per target in the NFL, and that's just not at tight end. I think it was overall. So as a tight end position, he was pretty much a beast last year. So I'll take George Kittle, who again an older tight end, but still doing it pretty good there.
It's yards per route run.
Routes per route run. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's top 5 at 2.88, right there with Nico Collins, Marvin Mims, and Mike Evans there. So yeah, yards per route run it's one of the highest of all tight ends in the last few years.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, he doesn't smell salts now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kittle is my next pick. It's hard to pass on a top 3 tight end in a format where you get 2 points per tight end reception. So, and that's kind of, for me, this is where we start to get into that danger zone of, okay, well, the talent level's starting to slide a little bit. So now we're throwing it, for me, some upside darts, I think. And I like Ricky Pearsall here, so I'll give him a shot. I'll take him here. I think you're look around the room for the 49ers about who's most likely to emerge as the guy this year, and then in the following years with Ayuk's injury uncertainty and the kind of the bad blood between him and the team, it's kind of got a little weird there. Pearsall is really well positioned to kind of break out this year, so I'll take him, and then I'm gonna, because of the nature of the format, I'm gonna go Elijah Arroyo, tight end from Seattle.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit of a deep dive, but we're talking about flag plants. I really believe in the talent. I like what he did, and I really do. I think it's from a format perspective. When you get into points, they sent Noah Fant packing, who, say what you will about him, a steady, dependable tight end. So that tells me all I need to know about what the Seahawks think about Arroyo, and they are very excited, gushing over all the different ways that they can use him. Not in line necessarily, but where it's going to matter for us in fantasy. So I'll take Arroyo there. Yep. Say again?
Up the seam, Arroyo up the seam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, let me make sure. Am I on the clock? Okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for taking Pearsall, by the way, because if he was there, I'd have taken him, and I would have gone 3 straight 49ers. And that would have been bad for my homerism.
You're still starting to think. You're still thinking about it. Don't lie.
There's still somebody there for you.
Yeah, there is still somebody there, but I'm gonna pass on him, and I'm gonna go with a high upside guy that's probably going to be going higher than y'all expect him to go. But he's playing behind a running back that's 30 years old that just for the first time in his career played a full season last year. And the chances that he continues to play at that high rate and not get injured is slim to none. So I'm going to take Trey Benson here and hope that he takes over from James Conner sometime this year and does what I think he can do in this offense.
Well, for all that James Conner slander, I'm going to have to take James Conner right there. I mean, it's one of those things where, I totally understand it, and I respect the fact that, he's definitely struggled with injuries his entire career, but he's an absolute brute force, a man amongst boys out there on the gridiron. And part of the Cardinals, there's still a run first offense, and they still have a mobile quarterback who opens up rushing lanes for somebody like James Conner that really is effective in the red zone and things of that nature. And if I can't find the stat now, but I believe that they were top 5 in overall rushing fantasy points last year. The Cardinals were, which was kind of a little bit of a shocking surprise there. So I still think Connor's got some life left in him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he does. I just like the upside of Benson, but yeah,
absolutely.
I love it. Ryan, you got the back-to-back.
Yeah, I'm just hurt that you took my boring king right there, James Conner. I'm going to take Juwan Jennings, my first pick.
Yeah.
I know they have their new toy in Pearsall, but similar to what you said, I don't trust Ayuk and whatever craziness going around him. And Purdy trusted Jennings when he was on the field last year. and he played well anytime he got the opportunity. So I'm going to follow that, just a little bit more veteran presence. Leading into veteran presence, I'm just pairing my two receivers from the same team, taking Cooper Kupp here. I know he's old, I know it's dynasty, and he's coming off an injury, but if he's on the field, he's going to produce. Whether or not it's a wide receiver too, he'll flirt with it.
Yeah, I like that. And going back to Jennings, just to double down on him, Ayuk's supposed to miss part of the season, and they got Pearsall there, and Debo is now obviously with the Commanders. Jennings is the one of the best blocking wide receivers in the NFL, and when they go to one wide receiver in a heavy formation, he'll be on the field more than other receivers will be. So I think Jennings is an excellent pick because I think he's going to be sort of the unsung hero as he's always kind of been, and he's the third down guy as well. So I love that call. I love Jennings this year as well, especially where his ADP is currently. All right, Swails, you're up.
Yeah, just the final nugget on Jennings from a DFS perspective or even from a weekly perspective. Anytime that the 49ers are going against zone, that's where Jennings primarily has the most successes in zone matchups. So great pull there. My pick here is just picking up on the 49ers overall. We know that they're an elite offense. You always want to get pieces of the Shanahan offense. Yes, Brandon Ayuk is going to probably end up on PUP. This is 100% a lost season, in my opinion. I don't usually like wide receivers coming off of ACLs, but from a dynasty perspective, I still believe if he can get it back, he is still one of the best man separators in the NFL, especially out wide.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick there. If somehow he made it back to me, because the upside is definitely there. We've seen him, be a top receiver in the NFL. If he can come back, even if it's next year, this is dynasty. So if he came back next year in full health, I think
he's still holding late first round dynasty type value too, which is what you would expect.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right. I feel like that was a pretty steep cliff here, so I'm going to go back to the quarterback because I don't see anybody else really like on this. So I'm going to go ahead and take Sam Darnold here. I know he had the one good season last year, and we didn't really know which guy is he. Is he the guy that was struggling in the first part of his career, or was he the guy that was playing last year? And I'm going to kind of hedge my bets here and hope that he's somewhere in between at least and serviceable as a quarterback too in this dynasty league. All right, Drew.
All right. Well, I'm going to take. We talked before about Kenneth Walker. I really like Kenneth Walker a lot, but there is that knock, that persistent knock of him with the injury situation. I'm not as worried about it as some because I don't think there hasn't been anything significant from a soft tissue perspective except for a high ankle sprain I think he had last year, but no major ligament tear or anything of the sort. But that said, Zach Charbonnet has been getting run. He does have a role in the offense, and if something does happen to Kenneth Walker, he's an immediate plug and play starting running back that can be very productive. So I'm going to go ahead and take Charbonnet here. And then for the second pick, I think I'm going to trade it for a future first or second if anyone wants to. So, but I guess I'll have to, while he's still upright, I guess I'll have to take Matt Stafford as the second quarterback there. Else, epidural and all, throw some duct tape on there. I don't love the pick, but I also don't really love the whole player selection that's here. I could already do a flag plant, but I've already done one of those. So I'll let you guys have fun with some of the other young players that are out there. I'll take Stafford.
All right. So I ended up getting a rookie tight end with some high upside in the AFC West, and I will end on a rookie tight end with some high upside, and I will take Terrence Ferguson here from the Rams. Tyler Higbee's been serviceable, but not, nothing to write home about. I think he still gets to start, but I think Terrence Ferguson will eventually eat into that Tyler Higbee role and essentially take it away from him eventually. So I'll take Ferguson in the 2-point tight end premium league here. All right, Bells, you got your last pick here.
Hey, nothing left really. So this is just a call out for all best ball players and things of that nature, or anybody that's doing dynasty startups and you need a 24th rounder. Tutu Atwell's out there. He got re-signed. He got his $10 million contract. He's basically the wide receiver 3, and he's shown when called upon he can not necessarily feature, but be available as a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 in the mix. And again, we referenced the Puka, Devontae being older, Tutu is great insurance there.
Good stuff. I like it. Yeah, and definitely a best ball type receiver for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, close us out here.
I feel like with the Rams, they always have a type, and they can't like players who play similar, fill in the roles, and back them up. And I don't like this player at all, but
They play the same.
he's insurance, and it's Blake Corum,
Yep.
and it's boring. I don't like him. I don't think he's that great, but that team's have to run the ball a lot, protect Stafford, like I said before. And I'll take my backup running back here.
Oh, I love that pick. I mean, we said the same thing about Kyron Williams being boring, and he's been nothing but produced there. And Blake Corum was a man among boys at Michigan when he was healthy, and he was last year he was hurt and wasn't himself yet. But by all means, by most accounts, he seemed to have some explosiveness back, and I like that pick a lot.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let me recap the teams here. Drew went with Puka in the first round, followed it up with Kyler Murray and Ricky Pearsall. Went with Arroyo, the tight end from Seattle, in his fourth round. Zach Charbonnet, and then wrapped it up with Matthew Stafford. Swails started off with Trey McBride, making it 2 straight mock drafts. He's gone with the top tight end in the division. Kenneth Walker, Devonta Adams, and James Conner, and then wraps it up with Brandon Ayuk and Tutu Atwell. Ryan goes with JSN, the surprise 101, Kyron Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and then gets Juwan Jennings, Cooper Kupp, and then wraps it up with Blake Corum. So once again, going back to his 0 QB strategy. And then my team is Marvin Harrison, Brock Purdy, and I stacked him with George Kittle. I took Trey Benson, who's kind of my flag plant, and then Sam Darnold, and then Terrence Ferguson to wrap it up. All right, fellas, that wraps up tonight's show. We'll go around the room real quick, gentlemen. Give me your Twitter handle. Give me anything you're working on, anything you want to plug. We'll go to you first, Swails.
Yeah. Again, appreciate being here. You can find me at Swails_24. Most of my articles, I've got about 4 of them, including I had Scott Fishbowl rankings, and thank you for everybody who might have utilized those. But yeah, now it's grinding, getting ready for the football season and updating the data suite each week.
Good stuff, man. I'd love to get you back on during the season as well. Get some of those advanced stats that you always spit out for us.
Absolutely, man.
Drew, what you got going on?
Well, I'll be a QB list and continue to do my rankings at FantasyPros there, hoping to get my feet wet a little bit there, a little bit more with some other things. But you can find me on Blue Sky at Drew Delaware, and also on Reddit at Drew Delaware as well. So that's where I spend most of my time on social medias these days.
Good stuff. Ryan.
Find me here Wednesday nights at Going for 2. Find me over the Rookie Big Board with the Dynasty Big Board podcast. We actually did a best ball draft on there live last night. It's definitely worth checking out. See how strategy got real weird.
Nice. I like it. All right, I want to plug one more time sort of a pet project that I've been working on. It has not quite come out yet, but it's getting really close to coming out. It's something that I was surprised that does not exist currently, and at least not that I could find anywhere on Google. I'm creating a new website. It is a Fantasy Football Hall of Fame. We're going to do about 6 players a year. We're going to induct them into the Hall of Fame, and we'll do a write-up on them and have some, some testimonials from players that owned them in the past, and just some cool stuff. We'll also be putting out like all-time fantasy teams for every NFL team, and putting in some legacy players, some older guys that we didn't have them for fantasy football, but we wish we did have them. So we'll put those out as well. But just a shrine to fantasy football and some of the best players that have ever played. Is what I'm kind of working on right now. So that'll be out hopefully before the season starts, but if not, it'll be during the season for sure. All right, fellas. For Ryan, for Drew, for Swails, I'm Jeff, and we will see y'all next week.